Hey everyone! Welcome to the second episode of Between Appointments. I'm Caitlin,
And I'm Noelle.
and today we'll be talking about.
Relationships and dating.
Oh, great.
So I am married and a mom of three. And Caitlin,
Single and lonely.
all right, well, I wouldn't go that far, but it's interesting, and it's a journey in itself.
That it is. The dating world today just isn't. I mean, I feel like it was easier to date when I was 14 than when I'm 28.
So, what would you say about dating in 2026?
So I've had kind of a hard time getting into the dating world. I feel like sometimes I'm way more reserved than I would like to be, and I don't put myself out there because I feel like in today's world, there's not genuineness, and people are just trying to sleep with each other. And
Okay.
I feel like my morale and the type of person that I've held myself to just isn't like cut out to be in this world of dating.
What's your morale?
Um, I'm not trying to sleep with you on the first date.
Well, yeah. And I feel like a lot of girls can
Selfish.
relate to that too.
And I feel like
Especially
that's
on the first
just,
date. I mean, some may, but
I've known plenty too,
but
but
right.
it's been, yeah, no, it's been weird. I was actually talking about this with some friends earlier today, and I was saying how, like, my morale, and they were like, oh, here you go. It's all about morale. And I'm like, no, but seriously, like, I would rather have my pride and not do what a lot of my friends have done to get a man, in a sense. And I feel like when you kind of just throw yourself out there, it attracts the wrong type of people. And I'm not looking for like a quick fix. I want
Right.
like more long term.
Right. How do you feel about marrying young versus marrying older? Like when you're young versus when you're older for you. How do you view that as?
I think since I've been a child, I've always wanted to get married. I think the way I view love, like we were talking about the other day, is a lot different than when I viewed love maybe at 14.
Mhm.
It just goes back to like even our relationship. Like a few years ago, I might have seen the call and been like, oh, it's okay if I miss it, and like I'll call her back or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, tomorrow's never guaranteed.
Right.
So I think my view on love and just how I want to show up for somebody else and how I would like that other person to show up for me
Right.
is a lot different than 10 years ago.
I can't even imagine being in the dating world right now. Let's hope I don't have to experience that.
Yeah, never.
Never. But like I just seeing from you and just other people that are around me that are dating now, it seems so scary because like I don't remember anything like this. I mean, yeah, Tinder was a thing, but like it's just like the whole
Not
culture.
the
So
dating apps.
it just well, I never used one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know my husband used one back in the day. But, we just met at like going out
Yeah.
and then we're going hiking and stuff. And now
Mhm.
seeing all these people now just doing it completely differently. And it's just like, oh God, I'm scared. Don't ever leave me. I don't want to experience this again
Yeah.
or go into that experience at least.
And I feel like it's hard to find people not on a dating app nowadays. And I feel like that's kind of where I feel like I'm limiting myself in that sense of, I don't want to just be on a hike and see a random stranger. Because
Yeah.
I've hiked my whole life, but hikers are weird. Like, there's some really weird people out in the woods.
There can be, yeah.
No, and that just goes into like the hiking mannerisms. Like when you walk past somebody, you typically say hi, but nowadays people just keep their head down and
Yeah.
they don't say hi, and it's not as easy to even build hiking relationships.
Right.
It's weird to think about. How do you think our friendship has changed after you got married and had kids and built a life on your own?
It's made me view things very differently. I want them to feel like a priority. Like if we're going to be a friend, you're going to be a priority to me now because life's too short. It's long, but it's too short.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm here for you and I tell you that I am, I want you to see it because I've lost so much in my life. I don't want anyone to think I'm taking it for granted because I'm not. That's not where I want to be at.
How do you handle that, like, mental load of being a mother and then on top having to maintain your friendships? Because I feel like sometimes when you're in a long-term relationship, the single friend tends to be like, oh, well, I have nothing else to do. Let's just call him up. So how do you like
So
handle that load of being a mother and a friend?
I try to prioritize my. I mean, I know that some people aren't going to go anywhere, even
Hmm.
if I'm not calling or texting them every single day. There's some friends you can just be like,
Not
okay,
see him in so long,
yeah, and
and
you
then
know
you
that
just pick up from where
nothing
you started.
correct. And there's some that you know that like they're going to be a little weird about it.
Hmm.
And you're like, why haven't you called me? But then you're like, if it's been a little bit, you'd be like, sorry, it's been so chaotic. It just depends on the relationship, I feel like, with that person.
Also, the situation. Like if something really bad happens last time you speak to that person,
Yes.
when you're
Situational.
yeah, it's very situational because when you go to build the new relationship after so long, because I mean, it's like a new relationship. It's hard because you have to put that in the past. But I think that goes back to like our first episode of Grace. Like, it's so many times. How many times are you going to abandon me and leave me out to dry or like say really hurtful
Right.
things to me and then me just pick up where we left off? That's
Where it
not,
goes back to situational. You
yeah.
have to like remember the history too. Like you can give people leniency, but then like if they've shown you that they can do better and they are doing better and you
Hmm.
know how that person is in general, then it's a lot easier to pick up things where you left off.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if their things didn't leave off great, you navigate that.
And you have the hard conversations. You do
Yeah,
need to have those hard conversations, but it's like after how many times are we going to stop and pick up and stop and pick up where a conversation's not just going to do it?
right, right.
Which that's kind of hard to maneuver sometimes, especially when you want that person in your life, but you know that person might not be the best person to stay in your life.
And I feel like with me and my husband, one of our main things is we know that we're going to be here for each other, but we always like it's we always say we're putting them on the rotation. Like we have a rotation. I don't know if other people do that, but that's what we do
Hmm.
personally. Or
And
we
it
do the little
works.
check-ins.
Yeah.
Helps if you're a little closer than others, but if they're not, they're like, okay, well, we haven't seen this person in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We need to go do this, catch up with them. That's kind of how we go about it, at least.
Yeah. Okay, story time.
Okay.
What do you think has been our most embarrassing moment together?
Our most embarrassing moment together?
Yeah, something that was hilariously embarrassing or something that we're like, "Oh my God, why did we do that?" I think I have one most embarrassing time together
Oh
and
God.
it was so bad, but it
Nothing
was
gross.
it's gross.
Oh God.
It was when we were at the Emerald. My last
Oh, that's
time.
not that bad.
That was so
Okay, I
bad.
thought you were gonna say something far worse than that. I was like,
No.
let's leave that stuff like in a little box and
No.
seal it up.
That was so bad.
Yeah, shit happens.
That was embarrassing.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean,
I
don't
rem
get too drunk.
I
Be
remember the
careful.
old creepy guy next to me too.
Um, just yeah, guys, don't get too drunk and don't throw up all over her bar.
Yikes.
At least she didn't slip in it.
Ew.
At least she didn't slip in it.
That was so bad. Oh my God. You know, I haven't been back since. And they have like really good bands and like it's a cute little tavern bar. How do you think our relationships change with the people around us depending on our location? Like when I'm with my brothers and I'm in the city, I'm acting a
Oh,
lot more like wild and not so tamed than when I'm in the county and I'm supposed to be on my P's and Q's because there's more consequences for being a menace.
I feel like that's just a thing. Yeah, I feel like there's differences between our friends in the city compared to like our friends in the county. I feel like there is a difference. No, but like I feel like there's a certain like level of sophistication or like
Yuppiness?
yuppiness. I mean, where I grew up at least, yuppiness or like I'm too good for these people kind of like
Nose up in the
mentality.
air.
Yeah, for some people at least, not
Hmm.
everybody. And then for the city, it's just a little more like
Lax.
relaxed.
Yes, a
They're
lot more
wild, they're
relaxed.
degenerates, they're
Not all. Okay,
not all of them.
we're
My
speaking.
friends.
There's a lot of sophisticated people in the cities.
No, yeah, maybe just where my husband grew up.
I just think like even when I've traveled and my conversations with people are different in different locations in the world because of how we've all grown up. Like when
Yes.
I go down south, I'm not having the same conversations I'm having up north. And it's funny that I say that because there was one time I had a not so fond conversation with somebody and she was like, you're such a Yankee. And I'm like, I'd rather be a Yankee than sit there and look at somebody in the face and be like, oh, honey, God bless your soul, when I don't mean it.
Right. Right. Got another hot topic.
Oh, geez.
Within dating and relationships, of course.
Okay.
Red flags we ignored.
Oh my God, they're circus flags. They're just warning flags. No, I have a really hard time with not necessarily seeing the red flags, but moving differently because I see the red flags. And I think you have to kind of play the seesaw on that one because you don't want to limit your opportunity with someone good because we all have our own red flags in different ways. They show up in different ways. But it's to a point of like, what red flags am I willing to accept and understand
Right.
and learn through?
Yeah.
And the red flags that I'm not willing to move forward with.
What do you feel like being in relationships with people that have a lot of red flags? In a sense, ignore them because it's like a comfortable, like you're used to it kind of thing.
I don't think it has to do with how I grew up. I think it's more so if I can't handle a red flag from the jump, then I'm okay with moving forward without that person.
Right.
But if I'm already in a relationship and I've developed a relationship and a love for that person, and then they switch up because people switch up,
Be love bombing too.
love bombing, people switch up all
That's
the
what I'm saying.
time.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think when that point happens and I'm already too invested in the relationship, that's when I have a hard time moving forward. You weren't expecting that type of behavior out of the person that you have fallen to love.
Maybe not in love, but definitely you have a love for them.
Yeah, not in love, but a love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a topic in itself of like being in love and loving someone. Because you can love somebody and not be in love with somebody.
Yes, correct. You can. You can. That's a really hard one to go through too. A lot of people have trouble with that, I feel like. I mean, I've gone through that.
Yeah.
Not in present, but in past.
How do you think that made you think, okay, maybe I need to end this relationship because I'm wasting my time?
Well, more so, I felt like I was wasting theirs because I cared about someone so much that I didn't want to waste their time. But then I was realizing that I am wasting my own time too. But then I'm realizing that I'm just being too nice and I'm like, I need to rip the band aid off. And I always kind of just sucked it up and kept going, even though I wasn't in love anymore. Or was I ever? I don't know. I'm going to say I was, but I
Because
was
it is
also
possible
young.
to fall out of love.
Yes, but I feel like when you're younger, especially if you're in high school or in your early 20s, it's a different kind of love sometimes.
Well, they say there's 3 types of love. You know, your
I
first love, your second love, and your third
I
love.
have heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore because the love I feel for right now wasn't the love like I don't love my husband the same way I do now that I did when I first started dating him or like
Yeah.
a year into marriage. Like I love him way more than I did then.
And it's crazy how much time makes you love a person even more than you thought you already loved that person.
Correct.
It is really crazy. I think what I've had a hard time with is finding that love for someone and feeling like I am in love. And maybe I don't know what true in love means and feels like, but then for me to have to adjust my life because they didn't want to waste my time and they felt like
Yeah.
they were loving me enough to be like, okay, I don't want to be with you. And I'm like, well, I'm in love with you. What do you mean you don't want to be with me? Why can't we work through this? People that love each other can work through anything.
And that's a thing I look as more as like an unconditional love because you want to do whatever you can for someone that you love in that manner. But then I feel like when it comes to being in love and love, like the two separate things, I want to make sure when I'm in my marriage, when you're dating, whatever the future holds, I want to be in both if I'm in that type of relationship.
Oh, 100%.
I love you. and I need to maintain a certain amount of like giving towards you,
Mm.
and you have to be able to define that properly.
Yeah. And I mean, even just the difference that you have for your siblings versus your husband versus your friends
Right.
versus your
And it's a
children.
whole different thing.
So I think it's pretty cool and interesting how different we love other people versus how we love ourselves.
Yeah.
I think showing up for ourselves and loving ourselves is so important, whether that's going to the gym or cooking healthy
Right.
or getting our hair done or
Love the
like
self-love.
yeah, like
You
going
gotta have it.
tanning or going out on a girls' night or
Whether you are single, into dating, or you are married,
yeah, it's
a
so
mom,
important.
you really got to give yourself some self-love
Yeah. And you have to know like I'm
because you're gonna
sure
lose yourself.
you will. And that's I guess my question to you is like how hard is it to make the time with
Oh,
everything going on to love yourself?
very hard. I feel like I give a lot more. I feel like I give other people more time to self-love than I do myself. Oh, I can handle it. I can just do it. I can take the load.
I'm Wonder Woman. I got this.
Not to say that he thinks of it the same way, but
No, but that's just how you feel in the moment.
like I just kind of do whatever I need to do. Like I just take the load.
Take the load.
Not in a weird way. I'm not. I'm editing that out.
Don't do that. That's funny.
What's worse, being single or being in the wrong relationship?
Oh my God, 100% being in the wrong relationship.
Okay.
I am Wonder Woman when I am single, but
Okay.
I have been in some really, really messed up relationships.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate that sometimes I feel like I do better when I'm single. But I think being in the wrong relationship just puts you in a downward spiral, whether that's mentally or physically or,
Right.
because I will eat my depression away or I'll starve my depression away or whatever. And normally my nervous system is more regulated when I'm single.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I feel the same way. Being in the wrong relationship.
Yeah. It will tear you to pieces.
Yeah, because you're always questioning things.
Am
You
I
don't.
good enough?
Am I wrong?
Did I do something?
Should I apologize?
Will you talk to me?
Am I there for them enough?
What's going on?
I don't understand what's going on in his head. I don't know what you're thinking. You have to talk to me, and then you have to figure out how
I
to
can't
communicate.
read minds. What changes after you get married that nobody speaks about?
But first year of marriage, they weren't kidding. I heard that from a friend of mine. First year of marriage is the hardest. Some of them have easy. I don't know how they're having easy times in the first year, but that was a hard one.
Really? Like you're not on that high anymore?
Like it's so much into navigating your relationship, finding their quirks and coexisting. So when you're dating somebody, like you could be together for years, right? And you feel like you know this person. And then you get married, you live in a house together, you are coexisting with that person. They stink. They don't clean up after themselves all the time, or they do. Some people do.
They
You
throw
learn
the-
about their habits, their good and their bad. You learn how well they clean. Are they living like they were still a bachelor? What their cleaning habits, their hygiene habits. That goes along with the smell.
That goes along with the smell, so wipe your butt.
Take a shower is really what I was leaning towards, but yeah, there you go. You learn all of their insecurities more so than you ever did. Like I always say, just live with them for a little bit. Just see how they are. See if you're good at coexisting together. It's really hard. So when you're dating someone, I feel like if you're not living together, when you live together, you're going to realize how you really feel being with someone 24/7, whether you hate them or you love them.
That's why I was so confused, like back in the day, that people didn't live with each other until they got married. And I'm like, I feel like I have to live with you before I get married because I mean, I've lived with an ex-boyfriend before and like we just were shown that it's not going to work out.
You weren't good at coexisting.
No, we weren't.
You were better in the phase of not living together
Yeah.
because you weren't around them 24/7. I mean, it was hard. It was really hard learning all these different things about my husband, like how he lives. Like you think they're clean, and then you live with them and you're like, you're not as clean as I thought you were, or you're not as nice as I thought you were. Not about my husband, just in general speaking. Like, you learn so many new
Oh my God,
things.
I'll tell you from my ex, he's so OCD, and I didn't think anybody could be more OCD than I am. It's two complete polar opposites. Like you could put the facade on like when your honey comes over and your house is all nice and clean, and then when
Yeah.
you're like behind closed doors you're not.
Yeah.
No, this man was so, if the pan wasn't turned at a 45-degree angle in the cabinet, it was like, okay, and then you have to learn to like, that's something they really care about. And it
Yeah.
might not be something I care about, but it's something they do. So if I love and want to be with this person and coexist with this person, I have to kind of make adjustments in the way
Adjustments.
I live.
Yes. Yes. That's another thing. You got to learn how to make adjustments for your partner. You have to compromise a lot. Um, you compromise about everything. Your how to raise your kids, yeah, how to interact with your family members, because you grew up with those people, those friends and family members that you were around for so long. They did not. That is a whole other element for them, and they have to learn how to compromise in that situation with you, and vice versa with you. You have to learn how to compromise. They're newly into the family, but they don't have to take as much shit as I do.
Like having your spouse around somebody else,
Like
like your
having,
family.
like my husband didn't like a friend of mine,
Hmm.
or they didn't like a significant family member in my life, or a non-significant, whatever it may be. Like, they didn't like how their interactions were with me.
Hmm.
But I'm just like, you gotta kind of like
Because it
bite
kind
your
of,
tongue a little bit.
yeah, because it's thin ice to walk on.
Because you've grown your whole life loving that person and caring about. But then they see them and they're like, I don't have to love them. I just have to coexist with that person.
Yeah, I
Again.
just have to tolerate you for 3 hours and then I get to leave.
Right, right.
No, I completely get that. And it's hard, especially like siblings and even just parents that enable bad behavior. It's
Oh,
hard to
yeah.
watch that as a spouse and not say anything. Like, hey, she's babying you, and you might be used to getting coddled, but you're
Yeah.
growing up and you're becoming a young adult and you're going into adulthood. You know, not trying to disrespect your mom, but how she went about that and you just took it on the chin isn't something that I would necessarily do.
Right.
Like
Right.
I would even if it was my mom, like that just comes from the different dynamics of families. Like some families are more vocal about expressing their
And some are not. They don't get, they just
some
don't
people
put
just like
any
the
of,
pink elephant in the room, yeah.
some people just don't say anything at all. And they just kind of let,
Everything
yeah.
slide. And you're like, "How can you let that slide?"
Yeah.
And I think it also comes from having that type of love with your spouse, being in love with your spouse, because you don't want anybody to hurt
Right.
that person.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like your spouse has the blinders on because they're
Yes.
so used to it. And
I'm
it's,
guilty of that too, putting my blinders up for
your family or
friends,
friends or,
whatever. Yeah. Because they'll notice something immediately because that's not what they're used to, or they just don't care. And they're like, that's not okay. And then
You're
you're
like, "What?
like, well, it
That's just
kind
always how they've been."
yeah, I just kind of suffer through it, even though I don't think I'm suffering through it with anybody. Not just, it could
Yeah.
be family, friends, whatever. You just don't realize it. And you're like, they're not good for you. Like,
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes, like, you hearing that from a person you love, you have to really internally evaluate how you want to go about it but you have to evaluate how you want to go about it because that person means a lot to me. And like you might see something different out of that person that maybe I don't see because my blinders are on,
yeah,
but how am I going to change the relationship to feel more respected? Or because sometimes I feel like there could be manipulation in
oh,
that
for sure.
topic of like, oh, that person's not good for you just because they want to isolate you and gaslight you into being alone.
Yeah,
And that's in toxic relationships.
yeah,
Um, but like a healthy relationship, I think that they would allow you to make that judgment yourself.
yeah. I feel like when you're in a healthy relationship with somebody, I feel like they will tell you what they see, let you make those decisions, which is what I do, what we both do. But then I feel like if you're not in a very good relationship, they'll try to make the decisions for you and make you try to isolate yourself from everybody else.
Hmm.
So they'll be like, give more like
Well,
ultimatums,
and it comes
or they just sneak around it and they just do it when you don't even realize it.
Well, it comes at a slower pace. They get you
Yes.
to trust them and to love them, and then they slowly but surely just put little bees in your mind like, "Oh, did you see that she looked at you weird across the table?" And you're like, "No, I didn't." And she might have not. Like, they might have not. But then that's
Yeah.
them trying to manipulate a situation for you, to isolate you. And I think that comes in abusive relationships a lot of the time.
Well, this brings us to the end of the episode 2. Whether you're single, married, figuring it out, or somewhere in between, we're all just navigating love in the best way we know how.
Thanks for spending this time with us. We'll see you next week. This is Caitlin.
This is Noelle.
And thank you for coming to listen to episode 2.